Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's Naturally Mar. Today we're going to be reviewing BET Presents The Encore Season 1, Episode 5. Let's get to it. Okay, so we're starting with Keely and the twins in the kitchen. They're making breakfast, and of course they're talking about Aubrey not being a good queen, how she's lazy, entitled, and she's spoiled. We see that Aubrey is in the coming out of the washroom, and she's in the hallway and she's just listening to the conversation that they're having about her. We then see Aubrey going outside with Misha, talking about the twins and how they're Keely and the twins are talking about her in the kitchen, and Misha says, "Oh, about last night." Misha is just telling Aubrey everything, that they were talking about her last night and they said that she shouldn't be queen, and just giving her all the news about what happened last night. So Aubrey is basically explaining her side as to what happened with the argument. So she doesn't want to be around, she just didn't want to be around the negativity, and that's why she had checked out for a bit. Now, she was also trying to say that the twins are just trying to control the music. At this point, however, they're having a conversation, Irish also joins them. And she was saying that she doesn't want the group to sound like another a Cherish 2.0, really, because they're controlling everything around the music. They're doing the production, they're writing the songs. So really, because they have, each song would be their quote unquote babies, they don't want to relinquish any type of control when it comes to the music. And then Irish says, yeah, that's kind of the way I felt when, they decided to take you off of Skeletons. Now, Misha, that is not what you were saying in the beginning, or when that was going on, because you're dropping your hints. Yeah, she was off timing. That's what you said. Anyhow, we see that during this episode, there's a lot of what I would say are confessional Avengers. We have Irish, Misha, and of course Keely. They like to say things in the confessionals, but they don't say that to the person's face. So I'm going to call them confessional Avengers. Okay? So Sita then calls the ladies, gathers them into the room to talk about what has happened in the house thus far, what's going on, how the ladies are doing. They announce their new name, which is the Blueprint. And right off the bat, Aubrey doesn't like the name, but of course she wasn't there. So you really have no say, because you weren't there, you weren't involved in the process or how they came about the name. Anyhow, Sita tells them that they will be having a listening party later that week with some of their former ex-group members. Now, when Pam hears this, Pam says to herself, well, she doesn't want to necessarily embarrass herself in front of her former group members. Like, she wants to make sure that what they put out there is good, because she doesn't want her former group members to look at her, so you left total to do this type of thing. So we'll see how that goes. Then we get to the Queen vote. So in the Queen vote, it ends up being a tie between Aubrey, Fallon, and Lamisha. So Aubrey decides to check the mandate to see what it says about breaking a tie. Now it says that the Queen has the deciding vote. Now when Fallon hears this, it's instant attitude. Because now she knows that, well, she's not going to be queen if Aubrey has control or the deciding vote. Now, Aubrey ends up choosing Misha as the next queen. No surprise there, because now that Aubrey is no longer in the clique group with the twins, she had to find someone else to leech onto. And she's chosen Misha and Irish as the next set of women that she's going to attach herself to. Now, We then see Felicia, talking to Aubrey afterwards, about Elijah, like what happened with Elijah. She tells her that, she heard the convo. Aubrey then tells her that she heard the convo in the kitchen about how they were talking about her. But Aubrey begins to throw Elijah under the bus. Now, everybody seems to be, well, not everybody, but, Aubrey, Felicia, Elijah, they all seem to be actually lying in this episode. So Aubrey kind of throws Elijah under the bus. And felt that they should have come to her when Elijah had told them anything. They should have come to her and talked to her about it, not just throw away type of a thing. She felt that she lost a friendship because of that. Now, Aubrey, what Aubrey was said that she was trying to convey to Elijah when they were talking was that maybe him and Cosign could actually come up with a hit song. So it kind of relieves the pressure on the twins to have to write the song and also produce it, and then have to, decide who should be and shouldn't be on a song. We then see Cosign, Elijah, and Aaliyah arrive in the studio. Felicia gets straight to the point and talks to Elijah about what Aubrey said. And basically, Elijah is denying that he ever said certain things. And my thing is, Elijah, why did you even get yourself involved in a mess? It looks bad that you're supposed to be one of the producers and you are getting involved in the women's mess. You should have left yourself out of it. So he claims that, they need to get Aubrey and everybody just needs to discuss it instead of a lot of the he said, she said. So as soon as Aubrey comes down, he confronts her about what she said and stated that she's being very divisive and very manipulative. Now, they run a clip back of Elijah, how he approached Aubrey to talk about what was going on in the house. And I think in that moment, I don't think he was trying to be messy. He was just really trying to figure out what was, maybe when he came that day, there was tension. So maybe he wanted to talk to her about it. But it was interesting that they decided to show that clip. Anyhow, when I think that Elijah really should have just come clean to the twins right then and there when they told him about what Aubrey said, and come out and say exactly how the conversation said, and, just fess up to exactly what he did say, which was he did talk about, he doesn't think that he needs to, what did he say? He doesn't need to argue with women, and he doesn't need to size up, who has the bigger dick because he's the only one with one. He didn't have to go down that road, but he could have just said, I did say a few things. It caught me, the way she came across made it seem that you guys were, downplaying my own talent, and that made me react a certain way, and I apologize. If he had come clean with it, there wouldn't have been a lot of this he said, she said back and forth. But, he denies it and made it seem that Aubrey was the only person who was at wrong when all of them kind of had their own little parts in it, because everybody was saying slick shit behind closed doors, right? Now, Aubrey is instantly gets into Karen mode, where now she's in, distress because of how Elijah is coming at her. Elijah isn't coming at her anyway. He's just expressing how he feels. And even in the video, you see that he's kind of, laid back and just, basically telling her how he felt about the situation. And she claims that, she feels so disrespected. She's never been spoken to like that about by a man before. And, she leaves the studio. Now, the other ladies say, okay, you know what? They'll speak to her tomorrow. They'll let her get a breather, but they're still trying to work through everything. In Misha's confessional, she says now she realizes how difficult her task will be in trying to get everyone to really work together now that she's queen. Now, the ladies are all talking after Aubrey left, and here we go with the comments and the drama. Fallon, why? Why did you have to say this comment? So they're talking, and all of a sudden Fallon says, well, now I feel like if you all want to sound good, if you want to look good, you all should have elected me to be queen. Well, Misha says, well, that's shitting on me. So, like, why can't you do what you're doing and not be queen? It's really just a glorified title, this queen position. So why can't you still support the group and do what you're doing and not have the queen title? Why does it, you need to be really saying that you should be the one to do the job right now? Now, Misha stands up because she's pissed off and she's basically talking down to at Fallon. And Cosine tries to, calm down the situation, calm down Misha, and bring down the energy, and says that there are too many cooks in the kitchen. Well, now when he says that, the twins, are still upset and they're storming out of the studio. Now, Irish then says, well, getting up and walking out isn't going to solve anything. And, Felicia, as they're on the stairs, Felicia turns back and she says, but it was okay for Aubrey to do it. Like, it was okay for Aubrey to do it, though. And you see Irish shouting, okay, frickin' frack. It was a whole mess. Now, Misha, in your confessionals, you're wearing this tank top that says good vibes. Where are the good vibes? Remember what you guys were saying about Aubrey when she was queen? That, she should be able to be calm and, bring down the energy, to make sure that everybody's calm and whatnot. Well, what happened to that? Why are you getting so upset? You're supposed to be able to deal with things in a certain way, right? Anyhow, Felicia and Fallon are upstairs in the kitchen talking to Pam and basically, complaining. They're feeling disrespected. Felicia feels disrespected that no one gives her the respect that she deserves about being producing or writing. And she's just like, there aren't many female producers in this game. And she brings up Missy Elliott and how it took her decades to get to where she's at. Not really, but okay. Now, Irish was downstairs in the studio saying that how the twins are so, they're so quick to pop off on everyone and they need to learn how to adjust. Everybody is learning how to adjust to the twins, but the twins don't have that same respect for everyone to try to adjust to the rest of the group. It's basically they want their way. So everybody decides that, okay, they're just going to go to bed because nothing is going to get done. It was like after 1 a.m, nothing more was going to get done. Now, as they go upstairs, they realize that Aubrey's bed is gone and no one knows where she's at. Misha's just like, she's not searching for her. You see Nivea soaking her foot in the hot tub, asking for someone to turn on the heat. And Aubrey ends up sending Misha a text saying that she's never been so disrespected by a man. And you do see a shot of her bed. And I believe her bed is actually in the room where they have Queen's Court. So she took her bed and put it there, or production helped her do it. If so, bye, Aubrey. Next, we see, Pam's, I believe it's the next day, we see Pam and the twins in the studio. Pam starts singing along to the song and they said, why don't you hop on it? So Pam is getting her recording in. I mean, Pam, wants to be able to move things along and try to record and, get things moving on with the songs because they know that they have the showings later on that week. Now we then see Shamari celebrating her 15th anniversary with Ronnie, and you see her two adorable twins in the video. And of course, she has to stand up for her man and say, she loves getting the support from him and the advice because, her man is from the legendary group New Edition. And they just talk about that. He's said to her, be the voice of reason, but don't take no crap from nobody. Now, the next day again, we see, I'm just going to call her, we see Positive Patty, aka Aubrey, return. And she gives Shamari flowers for her anniversary. She then proceeds to the kitchen and she tells Keely that, she wants to start off on a better foot. So basically a clean slate, and she hugs it out with the twins. All right. Let's see where this leads to. Everything seems to be on better footing. Now we get to the set list conversation. So they're in the studio and they're basically just going through the set list for the show. And as they're talking, Keely is kind of annoyed because they seem to be going back and forth and keep changing the list. And they seem to have agreed that the next on the list, right? So they agreed that Talking was going to be the first and the various songs that are coming after. Now, Fallon wasn't there when they were having that conversation. So when they agreed to the list, the next scene they are showing where they're talking about the list, and Fallon is not happy with Talking being first because she doesn't feel it's up to par yet. The twins themselves start having their own argument about the song. And, for me, sibling spats are natural. So nobody should have been shocked that they were arguing with each other because that's just a natural thing, especially for twins. Now, the ladies minus the twins are in the studio, and as Fallon was in the kitchen, she overhears them talking, where Aubrey was saying, that they need another banger. They need and really when they say another banger, they mean that they need another upbeat song to add to their list, to get the crowd interested, right? Fallon now goes and runs to her sister and basically tells her that they're down talking their music. They say that they don't have any good music, how they need a banger. And as such, well, this sets off Felicia. And Felicia basically goes downstairs to the studio to give it to the ladies. Now, Felicia's confronting everyone, saying, I hear you're trying to say that the songs that we've come up with aren't good, how, that her work, what she's created isn't good at all, that not enough for them. And Fallon was just like, no, that's not what I said. So Fallon, you just created a whole pile of mess. So, Aubrey was trying to explain, no, we weren't saying that. What we're saying is we want we need a more upbeat tempo song. So it would be good if Cosign and Elijah could put together a hit for us because we want a banger. We want something more up-tempo. And, they asked, what do you mean up-tempo? And Misha says my song, where the girl's at, type of a beat. And Fallon says, well, mid-tempo is now what up-tempo is. That's how the songs are being made now. And you see Shamari and Lamisha in the confessional saying, well, if that's how the songs are now, that means everybody in the club are just slow dancing to the music. And I can understand where they're coming from that in that instance. They're not saying that no, the work isn't good. they really are saying we just want another up-tempo beat, another good song that they can add to the list, to get the crowd hype. Since, there's arguments about talking and starting off with talking, well, then they need to start off with, a wow factor song. So Felicia is still pissed off. At this point, when they're really upset, they don't listen to what everybody is telling them. And the other ladies aren't really backing up Aubrey when she's trying to say, hey, that's not what we were saying. So it's just a pile of mess. In the meantime, you see Nivea just like not getting involved in the mess. She just wants another snack. The poor engineer who's there, sitting there, he's just staring at his work. He understood the assignment. He's like, I am here to work, not to get involved in the conversation and the mess. He stayed out of all combos. So the ladies don't really get anywhere. There's still this big argument. Lamisha goes back to her old argument where she's saying, well, you ladies don't want anybody else to be on a song. I don't have any lead parts on any of the songs, and keeps harping back to the old argument. And Felicia and Fallon are basically like, well, you know what? Take us off all of the songs. Make Misha sing all of the leads. She can have my parts, basically. Take me off the songs. And they go back upstairs. Well, this is where we end. Next week, we'll see again that Aubrey does another disappearing act. This might be the last. Next week maybe that is the last episode that we might see Aubrey. Who knows at this point? But it seems like as if she leaves again. So we'll see what happens next week. So far, this is the best reality show on TV. I'm excited to see what is going to happen in the coming weeks. And I just want to say, Carlos King, we need a reunion, because a lot of these ladies are coming back on lives and they're saying a lot of things, like in terms of the editing, how, they're editing episodes from like day 3 to day 20. So, there's a lot of hopscotch between things where things aren't really connecting. So we might feel a certain way, but they're claiming that it's not showing the full picture of what happened. So I would really like to see a reunion after this is done, to hear out from all of the ladies, to see, what their thoughts and how they felt about it. But it is good to see their lives afterwards. However, that is all for today. Thank you very much for watching my video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you do get my future videos once they drop. Bye, y'all.